Welcome to Binge on Self-Love podcast. I'm your host Anna, but you can call me Anchi. For the past few years, I've been struggling with binge eating disorder, severe procrastination issues, and a really poor self-image. Any kind of self-love has been pretty much non-existent. But I've realized I'm not alone in this, as millions of others struggle with accepting who they are, and we all fight our inner battles. I'm not an expert on this, nor I claim to be, but I have a story and I want to share it with you guys, raw and honest, with all its highs and lows. Every Tuesday, I share my experience, thoughts, and tips on overcoming binge eating disorder, procrastination, and tips on gaining self-love and respect. Join me and our listeners on our journey to build a healthier and kinder relationship with ourselves. Make sure to subscribe to Binge on Self-Love podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss any future episode. For more content on binge eating, procrastination, self-love, and self-acceptance, visit bingeonselflove.com and follow me on Instagram at bingeonselflove. Disclaimer: Binge on Self-Love podcast is intended for informational purposes only. It doesn't provide professional medical advice, and it is not a substitute for a diagnosis or treatment. Enchanté. Hello everyone, welcome to the Binge on Self-Love podcast. My name is Anna, but you can call me Anchi, and I am your host. Welcome, thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a wonderful week so far, and I hope you are kind to yourself and you treat yourself and your body right. Like always, a huge thanks to everyone who listens to this podcast. I truly appreciate your support. If you haven't yet, make sure to subscribe to Binge on Self-Love podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts, so you don't miss any future episodes. I've been thinking about what kind of topic I would like to talk about today, and there's been one in particular that I found to be very relevant and relatable to anyone who has some kind of disordered body image, unkind relationship to yourself, unkind relationship with their body, or unhealthy relationship with food, and that's exercise, working out, and having a healthy relationship with exercising. The reason why I want to talk about this is because so many of us have approached or still do approach exercise as the necessary torture to weight loss, as an inevitable torture to have visible abs, visible muscles, or to get some kind of like bikini body or whatever. At least that's how I approached exercise for a very long time. And I got to a point where I hated exercises, hated, for the very same reason, because I was chasing the idea of having a perfectly fit body that would give me some kind of validation from others and that would fit some kinds of the society standards. Please keep in mind that I am not an expert on psychology, mental health, or exercise, so I'm going to speak strictly from my experience, and I'm also going to quote any of the resources that I use. So without further ado, let's get into the episode. Enchanté. So what does having a healthy relationship with exercise means, and why is it even important to have one? I think every one of us will have a slightly different approach to what having a healthy relationship with exercise means to them. I'm going to share how I see it, and it is just my opinion, my point of view. It doesn't mean it's the only approach or that it's the right approach. To me, having a healthy relationship with exercise means, number one, moving your body consistently. And that means anything from walking, stretching, being outdoors, hiking, working out, doing some work outside, doing some work indoors like house chores or whatever. Number two, not using exercise as a mean of compensation. Number three, approaching exercise as part of our life, as a destination itself rather than a tool to reach some appearance-focused goal. Number four, finding some type of exercise that you will enjoy and that will make you feel good. Number five, listening to your body and what your body needs, which means taking rest when your body needs it, nourishing your body properly, not doing extremes or whatever. And number 6, focusing on doing the right thing rather than on burning calories. By which I mean to focus on doing the exercises right and doing them properly rather than being too focused on burning calories or losing weight or something like that. So that's what having a healthy relationship with exercise represents to me. Like I said, we will all have slightly different approach, but I think like the basic of it should probably be the same for all of us. I'm going to start the episode from the other side, I guess, because I want to point out some of the things that I believe lead to building and creating an unhealthy relationship with exercise. A very, very common perception that so many of us have is that we exercise because we want to change our bodies. In the perfect world, there probably wouldn't be anything wrong with that. There's nothing wrong if you want to change something about yourself as long as you're doing it for all the right reasons. But the problem is that so many of us start to work out because we hate our bodies. We hate the way we look, and we think we need to change the way we look in order to be happier and to be accepted and to be loved and to be socially validated, I guess. So many of us start to work out because we want to lose weight. And again, there's nothing wrong with that per se, but there is a lot wrong with that when you're trying to lose weight and change your body because you hate it and because you feel like you're not loved or you don't deserve to be loved because of your weight and stuff like that. Because if you hate yourself, if you hate the way you look, and if you hate your body, losing weight won't necessarily change that. I think that there's a lot more work to do from the inside than there is from the outside if you don't like the way you look and if you don't like your body. I feel like we're told by many fitness brands and many fitness influencers, not all of them of course, but many of them, that we should work out to reach a certain look. For example, we should work out to get a six-pack, or we should work out to get a round booty, or to have muscular arms, or to look like this, or to look like that. I know that these types of claims are what sell, essentially. You will obviously see guides titled like, get a six-pack in 6 weeks, or get bikini body ready, or something like that. I get that. But I also think that these types of claims contribute to the belief that we should work out to change our body. We should work out to get a six-pack. We should work out to get this type of booty, this type of thighs, this type of arms, and just this type of body in general. If the main reason why we exercise is to change our body, to lose weight, to reach a certain picture-perfect body, how can we build a healthy relationship with exercise? When it comes to exercise, I've always been very focused on what parts of my body I hated the most and what parts of my body and parts of myself I wanted to change. And this mindset created a huge amount of frustration. I hated working out because my only goal was to lose weight, and if I didn't see any results, I would get even angrier with myself. And honestly, by having such an appearance-focused goal, I lost all of my motivation very early on. It wasn't just something that would make me get up earlier, do a workout, be super proud of myself. It wasn't something that would make me do more or want more or do better. It was such a superficial goal that when things got slightly harder, I had zero reasons and zero motivation to stick to working out. Another problem about having weight loss as your main goal is that it can become pretty toxic. Just when all you think about are calories, losing weight, gaining weight, it will all contribute to creating a negative relationship with your body and with yourself, essentially. I remember when I was so obsessed with losing weight, it was mostly in the period when I was so deep into binge eating that losing weight was my only goal, my only motivation. I remember my boyfriend asked me if I want to go biking, and my first thought was no way, I don't want to do this. And my second thought was, wait, how many calories am I going to burn by biking for this amount of time? That's what this negative attitude towards your body, towards yourself, towards food or whatever does to you. You no longer see things, and especially exercise and food, as something that you can actually enjoy. What I've found really, really helpful when it comes to exercise is to try and shift your thinking from the appearance-focused results, such as having visible abs, having visible muscles, having a round booty, or having a thigh gap, or whatever it is you want, and rather try to shift your mindset to results that may not be so visible, but they happen inside your head, inside your mind. And these types of changes and results are the most important ones, not the results that are visible. Even though it's great, it probably shouldn't be the main goal, because I think it is so short-sighted. So for example, you can try to focus on being more consistent, on moving your body every single day. And just to clarify, I don't mean to work out every single day. That's not healthy and not beneficial, but to have some kind of movement. If you're like me, you spend most of your time sitting, so any kind of movement, whether it's walking, doing a little dance here and there, or I don't know, doing some housework or doing some work outdoors, whatever it might be, just to get some kind of movement every single day. Another example can be to focus on getting stronger, on getting better at some type of exercise. It can be, for example, trying different types of exercise, learning to do a headstand, learning to do a push-up, to finishing 1 mile without running out of breath, or finishing 1 mile without stopping in between. It can be anything that's not primarily focused on your appearance. And I personally believe that shifting the mindset from being too focused on your appearance and how exercise is going to make you look like to how it's gonna make you feel is extremely important and helpful in order to build a healthy relationship with exercise. Reason number 2 why I think we often develop an unhealthy relationship with exercise is that we use exercise as a means of compensation. Try to tell me and be really honest with yourself how many times you've said to yourself something like this: I'm gonna eat this, for example, a piece of pizza, a piece of chocolate, an ice cream, or whatever it might be. And then you were like, and I'm gonna make it up tomorrow in the gym or somewhere else. I've definitely done that too, and I used the I'm gonna make it up by exercising for an extra hour or so argument so many times. And I think it's the one of the sure ways how to develop an aversion towards exercise. Because when we approach exercise as a way to compensate for something wrong that we feel like, wrong in quotes, then working out is also inevitably going to feel wrong, because it's like some sort of punishment for something that we've done before. We're turning exercise into a necessary punishment to redeem ourselves from something we feel like we're doing wrong. I'm gonna be honest once again, and I'm gonna admit that ever since I developed an eating disorder when I was 16 or 17, I had a pretty rocky relationship with exercise. Until then, I've done any kind of sport or exercise. I haven't really thought about it twice. I've either done it because I wanted to, or I haven't done it because I didn't want to. And with the onset of anorexia, exercise became my tool how I could control my weight. I made it my duty and went to the gym almost every single day. My only goal at the time was to lose as much weight as possible, to burn as many calories as possible, and to just do something every single day. I had barely any muscles because I wasn't getting any better at any exercise. I was doing the same routine every single day. I obviously wasn't eating properly. I wasn't doing any stretches. Later on, when I started binging, exercise became my way to compensate for the amount of food that I ate prior to that exercise. And in my opinion, that was the period of time when I started to hate exercise, like literally hate. I was usually so physically sick from binging that I couldn't even move my body, and every kind of exercise felt like a torture for me, and it kind of like reminded me what I've done, and I wasn't feeling any better after the exercise, and of course I didn't see any results from any exercise. So not long after I've developed binge eating disorder, I quit working out altogether. But since I think March 2020, March last year, when the pandemic hit and we've been in some sort of lockdown ever since, I started to approach exercise differently. I've noticed I became less focused on what my body will look like after I exercise, because there was literally no one who would see my body, or like nowhere I would have to go and like, I don't know, put on some dress or put on bikini or put on whatever. But I started to really like and enjoy how I felt after the exercise. I loved that I had something nice and positive to look forward to each and every day, or not every day, but a few times a week. And I loved that I took a time off, just some time for myself, and I didn't think about anything that was going on during the exercise. It was just me, the music, and my body. And I do think that lockdown played a huge part in this shift in my head, because all of a sudden there was nothing to work for. I didn't have to set any kind of stupid goal that I'm gonna lose weight for summer and look my best so I can put on swimwear or whatever. I didn't have to go for a run with an idea that I'm gonna train for a race or something like that. And I'm actually really grateful for this change in my attitude, because for the first time in a really long time, I feel like I'm moving my body and I'm exercising for all the right reasons. And honestly, that's such an amazing feeling. Following up on the two previous points, another reason why we often have, in my opinion, a negative and unhealthy relationship with exercise is because we approach it as a necessary torture to get to the end goal. I've mentioned this already a few times, but I think if your goal is to lose weight, to have a certain fat or muscle percentage, or to have visible muscles, then you will inevitably approach exercise like a tool to get to the end goal, and your desire is the end goal, not the exercise itself. I also think that many of us have this idea that exercise means working out at the gym, using dumbbells, doing squats, doing push-ups, or something like that. And if you do go to the gym and you end up not liking it, you quit and you only give yourself the false reassurance that working out is not for you. And it only strengthens the negative associations with exercise, I think. But there is no right way how to exercise. Going to the gym isn't the only way how to work out and how to get your body moving. If you don't like going to the gym, if you don't like lifting weights, considering that gyms are open, of course, there are so many other ways how you can be more active. You can go for a walk, you can go skating, biking, you can go for a hike, you can put on music and do a little dance session, which is something that I do all the time at home, and I love it and I feel very good afterwards. You can do some stretches, you can do yoga, you can go for a run, you can do some gardening, you can clean your house, all that counts. I'm not saying that doing house chores is as effective as, for example, a yoga session, but if you're looking for ways how you can be more active or become more active, I think it doesn't really matter what kind of movement you're doing. So if you've tried some kind of sport, some kind of exercise, and you end up not liking it, there's really nothing wrong with that. You can try so many different types of sport and exercise and find something that you will really enjoy. Because I think having something that you really love and you enjoy is going to make it so much easier for you to make it like part of your life. You will look forward to something for that training session or whatever it will be for you every single week. Don't be afraid to try different types of exercises and see whatever works for you. I've tried CrossFit, I've tried Zumba, I've tried piloxing, I've tried going to the gym, I've tried all these different types of workout plans until I found something that I truly enjoy and whatever seems to work for me. Maybe you will find that you like sticking to an actual workout plan. Maybe you find out that you like being more spontaneous and spend some time outside, either like walking, running, hiking, whatever. And what I also love to do is to have something that I do purely for the fun of it and for the joy that it brings me. For me, it's dancing, like I mentioned. I am a terrible dancer, but I don't really care. I put on music and I dance, and I feel so energized and so good, and my body is moving, and I have all this energy afterwards. So having something that you just do for the fun of it, for the joy, I think that's really helpful if you want to change your relationship with exercise. So try to find something that you will enjoy. And I think with the exercise especially, there shouldn't be necessary an end goal. And here it is more true than ever that the journey itself is the destination. Another reason why we often create a negative relationship with exercise is because we're doing it for all the wrong reasons. I'm going to give you an example again from my own experience. Every single year, I give myself the same type of goal, to lose weight for summer so I can put on a nice swimsuit and prove everybody else wrong that I can do it and prove myself that I am beautiful. There are so many things wrong with that goal, but what I want to especially point out is that my motivation was to prove something to somebody else. And these are not good reasons, not strong enough reasons for why I should change my body or why I should exercise. I think so many times we want to change our body, change ourselves to impress somebody, to show your ex what that person is missing, or to prove someone who treated you badly that you are worth it and stuff like that. I think the only one who we should impress is ourselves. Because all that motivation is external and superficial, and that's not going to last very long. It's not a good reason to start with something. You should do it for yourself. There's nothing selfish about it. You should truly do it for yourself. You should exercise because you want to get better at something. You should exercise because you want to train discipline, or because you want to feel better, because you want to have a better posture, whatever. I think doing it for the right reason or reasons is what makes the true difference. Once I shifted my mindset from being obsessive about losing weight to working out because I like how I felt afterwards and because it is something that makes me feel really happy and energized, and because it is something I can continuously get better at, everything has changed for me in this way. I've been able to stick to working out consistently, which is something I was never able to do before. I would be motivated for a week or two and then the motivation would pass very quickly. I would also say don't make your appearance the main reason for working out. It is obviously up to everyone. You can all have different types of goals and different types of motivations. But I think with the rise of social media and with the fitness influencers and the fitness world in general, I think many of us got this feeling that we should work out to look our best. Because that's what we see, that's what people show us, that we should look like this 24/7. And we obviously feel like we want to be like that too. And not everyone, of course, but I do believe that so many people, so many of us, especially those who are not really happy with the way their body looks or they see their body, get influenced by those people and they come to a conclusion that you should work out to look like that person. I think the appearance-based motivation to exercise is again very short-sighted and it's not really sustainable in the long term. Your body changes and sometimes the results won't come or they won't come as quickly as you hoped. No one can look super lean and shredded all the time, even though that's something we're being told. So I would say instead of creating this pressure and toxic environment around yourself, try to find exercise that you love and you enjoy and that you want to get better at and you want to continue doing no matter how you look. The last point I want to mention today is that we often have a negative relationship with exercise because we have that all or nothing mindset or attitude. I've talked about the all or nothing mindset multiple times throughout this podcast, and it's seriously like the worst attitude ever. You either stick to a very strict workout schedule and eat super duper healthy, or you feel like you shouldn't be trying at all. Just think about the time when you planned to work out and then something happened, like either at work or in your personal life, and you came home late and you were really tired and you were like, there is no point in trying to live a healthy lifestyle or whatever if I can be consistent. But the truth is, things like this will happen and they will happen very often because as cringy as it sounds, this is part of life. Sometimes things don't go as we wanted and they don't go according to plan. And sometimes you won't have time to exercise, and sometimes you will have time to exercise, and sometimes you will not want to exercise, whereas sometimes you will want to exercise. I think that exercise shouldn't be about extremes. It shouldn't be about all or nothing, about either being super perfect and working out according to schedule or not doing anything at all. I've had this mindset as well, and I felt like if I can do everything right, then I shouldn't be trying at all. Then I should be just laying on the couch, eat and regret and pity myself. I think it also has a lot to do with my binge eating disorder, because I felt like there's no reason for me to exercise if I won't get any results. But I think in general, the all or nothing mindset is a wrong mindset towards exercise or towards pretty much anything else. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. What I want to say is that by everything that I've mentioned today, I'm not saying that we should never push ourselves to work harder or to do better. I know that I often don't want to work out. I am often pretty lazy, and I need to truly push myself to do a little more. There's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, I don't think exercise should be just about that, just about pushing yourself more and more. I think, like in everything, it's about finding some sort of balance so you feel good after the exercise and you also put some effort into the exercise. Maybe I am too naive, which is highly possible, but I think exercise should be more than just a way to lose weight and to have a lean, muscular body. I think exercise should truly be part of our life for as long as possible, and it should be something that makes us feel happy and good and energized, not something that makes us feel bad about ourselves. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to send me your feedback at anci@bingeonselflove.com or follow me on Instagram at bingeonselflove. Thank you for listening and talk to you soon. Bye! Thank you so much for spending your time listening to Binge on Self-Love podcast. If you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to subscribe to Binge on Self-Love podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss any future episode. You can find more content on binge eating, procrastination, and self-acceptance at bingeonselflove.com and on Instagram at bingeonselflove. Talk to you soon. Bye!